Howdy, Ole Miss fans, and welcome to the Brad and Chad Show on the OM Network. Brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans, made in the USA. This is the show by and for Ole Miss fans, where you'll get expert insight and analysis on Ole Miss athletics. And now, here are your hosts, former Rebels Chad Flowers and retired NFL star Bradley Sowell.
Podcast time.
Sunday, October 23rd, Brad and Chad Show brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. Bradley, it's a very sobering morning, afternoon, depending on where you are, after the Rebels game yesterday against the LSU Tigers. Really did not go the way we expected, 45-20 loss. Thankfully, you didn't go down to Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, we had to back out last minute, and thank goodness, man. We that was the one that I didn't see coming. I'm not gonna lie. We're up. We played a softball tournament in Laurel, and there's a guy sitting. We're playing a game. There's a guy sitting right there behind home plate. He's wearing an LSU hat. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I got my phone playing, next in my pocket. I'm looking. Ole Miss is driving at 17-3. I intentionally walk behind me and say, "Hey, excuse me, sir. I don't have great service. Can you know what the score is? You know what the score is of the game?" Yeah, man, Ole Miss is dominating. LSU ain't that great this year. I knew it. Later on, needless to say, I look back mid-game and, man, they just, dude.
He giving you updates later on in the second half?
Yeah, he was letting me know the score every time, every bit of time. But, man, that was just, all in all, there was some youth that showed up, just not – the defense, man. I mean, I thought the offense was fine at times. They made some mistakes, a few freshman mistakes in there. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this defense, man. I mean, you cannot. This quarterback was able to do whatever he wanted against us. And the thing now it's real, right? You either get exposure, or you get exposed, and we got exposed. Let's be real. Like this trend has showed up for the last 4 or 5 games. We just are where we are at this point. Can't tackle and soft on defense. It is what it is. We cannot tackle. I mean, there was multiple times where we had him and we just let him slip away and make a big run. And, we just are where we are right now. We're just not that great on defense.
Well, you look at the games that we've already played, the Rebels have tried to show us who they are, right? Both on offense and defense, right? The offense will come out hot, and then they will just go on cold streaks that could last a quarter. It could last an entire half like we saw yesterday. And the defense, we kept making excuses. Hey, they are, they're trying to gel. They bend but don't break. They broke last week. They got shattered yesterday. Yep. Right? It was a completely demoralizing loss. And I'm going to point fingers at the defense, but I'm going to point a lot of fingers at the offense too, because this is an offensive team. At least it's supposed to be. 20 points is great in the first half, but you can't give me 0 in the second half, right? You have to be able to at least keep putting pressure on the other team. Yep. And, we went cold. We went completely silent, which has been a trend that we've been making excuses for the entire season. And it reared its ugly head in a time where it couldn't. And we got completely blown. It was a dominating performance by LSU after the first quarter.
Yeah, I agree, man. And we were driving the ball at times, second half, but we got to finish. And, we had these little mistakes. And here's the thing, man. Like, I know we're 7-0. Everybody's excited. Hell, I'm so drunk on Kool-Aid. I'm over talking national championship and stuff. But the team, we are what we are, man. We're not a very experienced team, and this is when it shows up. You look down on the we'll go over this play here in a little bit, but, the interception dart through down our goal line. I mean, it's just a missed slide pro by a freshman tackle, and, he has to rush the throw, and he probably should throw at the back of the end zone, but you get an interception right there. You got to score. Even when it's 14-3 and we're driving right there, you got to get sevens. You can't get down there and get a field goal. You've got 3rd and 5. We run a QB, a QB counter up the middle or something like that. And, we got to put, when you're on the road with a team like we have and a defense like we have, you got to go up 21-3 there. You got to score right there when you're on the 5-yard line. There was multiple chances to stay in that game and stay the part, but, man, our inexperience shows at times, and that's what we are this year, man. We're a little bit ahead of schedule in my mind, based off of what we brought in, where we are at quarterback, where we are experience wise. But games like this are going to happen. We're not there yet. We're getting close, and this team could get there. But a game like yesterday it can really get ugly when you start letting go of the rope and not executing.
If we start talking about the game from beginning to end, it was another hot start, right? The Rebels start out with a drive of 70 yards. They put it in. Judkins continues to be the guy, right? We didn't have Zach Evans for whatever reason. That was kind of an odd. I was expecting him to play. I don't know what happened there. Maybe we'll get more information from Lane's press conference in the middle of the week. But, the Rebels score 70, score from seven after a 70-yard drive, and then we have another long drive, right? And so let's bring up one of the plays. So let's bring up play one, Tim, if you don't mind. So, Bradley, show me what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so if you look, we have an inside zone to the left, the right tackle right there. You got to stay on your path there. He kind of just misses both guys. I know Casey Kelly got a lot of slack yesterday, but that play right there in general, I mean, he saved the touchdown there. I mean, he adjusted well and stayed inside and caught the first inside guy. But if you look at it, left tackle has a guy that the guard and center are supposed to slip block or backside, whatever, A block to the backer. They do a great job there. The tackle kind of misses both guys. He needs to stay on his track and go up to the backer there and let Kelly actually get that D in, but or pull in the hole for the next guy. But the job got done there. Kelly made a great block, and he basically adjusted well off the tackle, missing both guys and getting Judkins one-on-one with the safety there. So good play all in general. But again, it shows up all over the field. The freshman tackles made some real mistakes yesterday if you watch the film.
Yeah, and so that puts the Rebels up 14-3, and you can't help but feel good. Then again, looking at it hindsight, that's the story that we've seen all season, right? The Rebels can start out hot. Maybe it's the scripted plays that allow us to go up like that, and then things just kind of die away, right? So then you've got LSU. They finally answer after, we go down and kick a field goal, and then LSU begins their comeback, right? And so if we want to bring up play two, this was one of the kind of a back-breaking play for LSU. Rebels up 17-3, ball at the Ole Miss 34. So Bradley, let's talk about this play.
Dude, this play should never even happen. The throw sucked. Here we are, we're in 3 down, first and 10. Okay, we're in freaking prevent, whatever you want to call this defense, rushing 3, letting the quarterback throw. You got the post over the middle that gets Finley's eyes off. I think Igmanosa, I don't know what he was reading there. He was trying to jump something, but it's kind of a levels type coverage. He's basically covered underneath, but there's nothing covered underneath, so he probably should have went with the guy a little bit more. And Finley gets his eyes distracted by that post, and he's late. It's a wobbly ass throw. If Finley's not late right there and he's disciplined with his eyes, he probably picks this ball off. But just another example. Hey, you got a freshman corner there. Probably doesn't play that disciplined on that play, and it gets Finley there late. Finley gets his eyes in trouble, and just all in all, like that play like that should not happen. That should be an interception. It's a wobbly duck throw. But it brings me to my next point. What the hell are we running there? It's 1st and 10. Yep. First and 10, and we look like we're facing Joe Montana. It's unbelievable, dude. Like, we've got to start pressuring. We got to start playing up. I mean, we're softing off. I mean, honestly, they could have ran a stop route there for 15 yards. This is the SEC, dude. That is not working here. That is not working in the SEC. I can assure you that.
The Rebels, the defense had 4 sacks, but you talk about quarterback hurries, they didn't have any. We did not put pressure on Jaden Daniels, and he chewed us up, right?
Well, on that play in general, he could have done anything. He made the worst. He made the worst read he could have made there. The worst option in my mind. He could have ran that for 15 yards, or if there was something underneath, he could have hit. But he throws it up. He throws up a prayer wobbly duck, and you mean to tell me we got a corner there and a safety that got a guy wide open, and we can't get there to get that ball, or at least make a play on the ball. So just stuff like that. That's bad, man. That's bad ball.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Igmanosa expected more over the top coverage from Finley, and then he had that oh shit moment where he's not back there, I've got to go, and then it was just a cluster from that point.
Finley's eyes got distracted right there by that post. It looked like, and it looked like they were it looks like there was another guy there that had that that was responsible for that. You have four guys over the top. If I had to guess, they're splitting the field. You got twos covering one side and twos covering the other. So being late there, and then that lets them back in the game. That pretty much makes it a game there. Only down by a touchdown at that point. So just little stuff like that. I mean, it's Ole Miss beating Ole Miss. That's what's frustrating. Yep. This is not a talent issue, right? Like, we got plenty of talent, but it's little things like that. We can't tackle. We look soft, and you let a throw that's spinning. It's not even a spiral. I mean, just a floating ball become a touchdown. That's just shitty play. That has nothing to do with talent.
What was your assessment? So this was our first game without, well, maybe not our first game, but Michael Trigg is out with their collarbone. I felt like Casey Kelly had a rougher game, at least from a receiving perspective. He did make a good block on that first touchdown, on that first highlight we looked at with Judkins, but I felt like he really struggled in the passing game, at least from a receiving.
But why are we hanging our hat on Casey Kelly in the passing game?
That's fair.
Okay, at what point are we ever going to say, "Oh, cool, well, it's Casey Kelly's fault in the passing game, we lost"? Like, we're not at that point in a program. Mm-hmm. Don't put him in those situations if he's not your main receiver. Casey Kelly's role is to be a whack blocker. He's not your receiving tight end. If you're putting your eggs in that basket, then we're short position there. That's not his role. He's short intermediate plays. He's not. You're not designing stuff for Casey Kelly. You're just not. That's not what you do. He's not that guy. So we need to get other guys involved that are those guys. His role is is what it is. I know people are blaming him on the sack, on darts interception. No, that's the left tackle's fault. He's got to get down that gap. It's a slide pro. So I'm not. He may have had a play or two that wasn't his best, but we're not a team that's built around Casey Kelly. You're supposed to have Michael Trigg in there. He's hurt. Find something else. Do something else. Kelly made his share of good plays yesterday as well. That helped us. So to sit there and keep on, blaming him, that's just goofy. It's goofy. You want to blame something? Look at the defense. Look at the defensive scheme. That's what you blame. We gave up 45 points. We lost 42-3 in a game, and we're worried about what we're doing on with Casey Kelly. That ain't it.
Yeah. Now on we talked about that second quarter where we ended up settling for a field goal. So once again, Jonathan Cruz is showing that he's the real deal from a kicker. We can count on him, which is something that feels odd to say, being an Ole Miss fan. But that was another situation where we went up 17-3, but penalties hurt us that drive. We had a few penalties that we were on their 19, and we had an offensive pass interference call that pushed us back to the 34. That was back to your point where that's where we have to get 7 and we can't settle for 3. Yeah, we put points on the board, but that was a real backbreaker in the first half.
Yeah, that was my concern coming into this, was this environment was going to be real. You're like, oh, it's not a night game. No, I don't give a crap. Anytime you go into LSU, the environment's real, and especially when you start giving them life, So you gotta, mistakes like that happen. You're going to have some penalties down there, but you obviously want to limit it. But man, I didn't think we'd have 10. We lost 111 yards in penalties yesterday, or somewhere around there, 100 something yards in penalties. And that's a lot of yards to be given up on the road, on mistakes. And you got to roll 7s, but that keeps bringing me back to my point of where we are as a team. Yes, we're 7-0. Yes, we're number 7 in the nation. We hadn't really beat anybody. The Kentucky game was probably our best win. Auburn, they're not that great. We had them at home, did well, but this team, we said coming in, 8-9 win team. They get your hopes up. Now I'm going crazy talking about national championship and stuff. But, in order for us to get to that level, we have to send these guys through fire, right? Some of these guys are the future of our program, and they get down there, you're playing in a big environment, and, it happens, man. Those eyes start getting big, and you start seeing what real ball feels like. But, shoot, it's we're callousing ourselves right here. This is a game that they need to take and learn from.
Yeah. So the Rebels in the first half up 20-17. Before we talk about the second half, let's talk real quick about Jeff Griffin with the Stevenson Griffin Group. They're one of our new sponsors at Baird Private Wealth Management. Just a reminder that you can go to the group's website at stevensongriffingroup.bairdwealth.com, or you can give them a call at 662-841-1900. Jeff's a great guy. Make sure and check him out. So second half, LSU gets the ball. Defense actually comes out and gets a stop. We get a stop right out of the gate. Rebels go 3 and out. And so then LSU goes down, and they have like a 70-plus yard drive to go up 24-20. And the Rebels have to answer. Yep. It seemed like they were going to, right? They're driving. And then what I felt like was the backbreaker. So, Tim, if you want to bring up play 3, let's set this up. So Rebels are down 24-20. You can see here we're inside the 10-yard line. Okay.
Yep.
Bradley,
so this player here is just a basic slide pro. I mean, this is the shit they teach in Pee Wee, right? Like when you can't actually identify Mike and go into like a 5-man, 6-man pro, you run slide pro, right? As a kid, that's the first thing you ever do. As a tackle, you have to have your eyes up, right? It's a slide pro for a reason, right? You have the inside gap. Nothing should ever come to your inside gap in slide pro, right? What's left tackle do? Hey, your eyes not up, loud noise, whatever. You don't see the linebacker coming through, and your tight end's trying to slide. He's on your hip. He's there to get your back. You have the guy next to you's back every time, right? Left tackle misses the guy coming through. I don't know. Dart's maybe trying to throw a back shoulder fade or whatever to Heath. He's getting hit, underthrows it, and boom, that costs you. I mean, that's a back-breaking play, but again, that's a freshman tackle, freshman mistake. It happens, but you got to have your eyes up. That has nothing to do with the tight end there. That is the left tackle in a slide pro that has to have his ass down in that gap. It's just no excuse for that. You have to have your eyes up. You're watching all the backers. You're watching everything. You have to have the guys back next to you because no matter what, the slide keeps going even to the outside guy. But nothing should ever come inside of a slide pro. And it happens, and that's got to get cleaned up. The plays like that is Ole Miss beating Ole Miss. That's not a complicated pro, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, LSU is not some great team that we can't block. No, that's a mental error. That has nothing to do with them beating us physically. That's us not doing what we're coached to do or what we're asked to do, and that's get down in the gap there. And that's what leads to interceptions. That's what leads to losses. That's the kind of stuff we got to get better at as a team. That's just a mental error that led to an interception, and it happens.
It felt like the LSU defense in the second half, they pinned their ears back and just started coming hard and trying to make Jackson Dart make split-second decisions on where he needs to go with the ball. And that was a play, like you mentioned, that was a mistake from the offensive line. But they did what you said in a previous show when we were interviewing Chad Kelly. The way to get to a quarterback is put him under pressure. Yes. They did what I felt like the Ole Miss defense should have done, but we never did it.
Yeah, no, it's college. I think Chad said something about it too when he was on the show. Like these guys, 9 times out of 10, these guys aren't really coached to beat pressure. Make it harder to throw. I mean, if we're going to sit back and let them run all over us and throw wobbly ducks that go for 40-yard touchdowns, why not just take a shot and try to see if you can hit them? That's what they did to Dart, and look what happened. Hey, you may not get him every time. Dart was at times. I thought Dart looked great yesterday. I'm in the minority, but he looked great at times. I mean, he made some great throws. But hey, what do? You keep pressuring, and what happens? Boom! All of a sudden, pressure. You have one mistake up from the left tackle, causes interception on the 5-yard line. That's what pressure creates. It creates turnovers. Are you going to give up some plays? Hell yeah, you can give up some plays. Mm-hmm. And it happens like that. But guess what? That 1 or 2 interceptions or 1 or 2 turnovers you get by pressuring the heck out of them, it's going to change the game. And that changed the game yesterday by pressuring the quarterback. Whereas I see 1st and 10, we got dudes playing 15 yards off with 3 down. Mm-hmm. Someone please explain that to me.
Right.
Please explain that to me.
After the interception, LSU did what good teams do. They went 80 yards and they put it in the end zone. And it was 31-20. Yeah, you could say, well, we're only down 2 scores, go down, kick a field goal or score a touchdown, kick 2. I felt like it was over at that point. Personally, yeah, there was still plenty of time left, but they continued to just force their will, both on offense and defense, for the Rebels.
Yeah, I mean dude. Once that play to me, that was it. When we threw that interception, and I knew, like the previous years, we had Matt Corral. When we had no defense, we had Matt Corral. We had an experienced team, right? We had experienced offense that could say, oh, you know what, hell with it. We'll be able to get back and answer, but we don't have that. We don't have that right now. Now, are we capable of scoring and scoring? Yeah, we are. I think our offense is fine. Like it's going to be totally fine. We got enough talent. We got some good players, but we don't have like that. Hey, I know how to really. If we have a defense having an off day, a really off day like they were yesterday, we don't really have the ability just to sit there and come back from 11, 12, 15 points down in a hostile environment when you're giving this team life, knowing you can't keep pace with them. So, yeah, that's after that interception, man. I was like, if they score right here, it's a wrap. And what do? They let this quarterback throw, who really doesn't throw the ball particularly well, and just run. I mean, he just ran all over the place on us. And a lot of times they had him. What's crazy is like there'd be a guy there, and we just can't tackle. Like it's just showing up now. We're just not a good tackling team. And we are now we're in the real schedule, right? Like this isn't the beginning of the year where we're playing some of these teams and getting by. We're in the heart of the schedule, tough road game, SEC type talent. Man,
every game's a dogfight from here on out, right?
Yeah.
There's, you have rose-colored glasses looking as the season's going on, looking at this is an easy win. This is an easy win. You can expect every team that we play going forward, they're going to run the same offense. Why would you change it?
Yeah.
Even Mississippi State, who is an air raid offense, if you do not try to run the ball as much as possible, then you should be fired on the spot. Yeah. Right? So at least we know from a defensive prep perspective, we know what's coming for us because we've yet to show that we can stop it consistently.
Yep, no question, man. I mean, I know it's all gloom and doom on this pod, but man, that's the way it felt yesterday. And there were some positives in there as well. If you look at it, there was I feel like the offense was, there was at times they looked really good. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was us beating ourselves. And but what we do have to realize is, no matter what happened yesterday, as crappy as it feels, everything we want to accomplish is still in front of us, right?
Still in front of us, absolutely.
I'm not saying. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying, we just lost that and we're going to go ahead and beat everybody. But from a team's perspective, you can do one or two things. You can get your ass beat and go in the shell and let it snowball and turn around and be maybe 8-4, maybe 7-5. Maybe just be a whatever team, or you can say, hey, wake up call, got to get better, go beat the hell out of A&M, and you got Alabama at home, and you give them your best shot. And then you mess around and win that one. You got a chance. You still got a chance to play for the West, right?
Sure.
You, LSU, and Alabama have a chance to play for the West, right? Yep. So
the season's not over. It's just it is now a situation where the things that we were seeing earlier in the season were not anomalies. They are real issues that have to be figured out, or else the season will go down a road that we did not anticipate.
No question. And, like I said, we just got to that sucked, man. I mean, that one hurt.
Did.
But it's, everything's still in front of us. You got to.
It is. And the other thing that has to be figured out is the injury situation, right? Troy Brown, AJ Finley, both on the defense. We don't know the status of Malik Heath, who we haven't mentioned, had a great day yesterday. He looked fantastic. But we've got a lot of injuries, and we don't know the status of Zach Evans, right? So that will be real interesting to see midweek. Now, I know Lane does not give a lot of updates on that, but obviously there are reporters that can give us some insight as to what those are. But we've got some depth issues that are going to show real quick if we don't have those guys back on the field.
Yeah, no question. And, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I know it was fun making fun of Brian Kelly, all his goofiness. He's a problem.
He's a good coach. This is the worst they're going to be while he's there. This is their down season.
Yeah, he hasn't really got all his guys in there, but he's always been a good offensive coach, but he's never had this kind of talent to work with. No. And he's going to be a problem at LSU. He really is. What he's done already from what they look like the first game.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, and it never fails, man. Why do we always get LSU and Auburn this point in the year when they figured it out?
Like I know. I know. It was a blessing and a curse.
You look at LSU that first game, I was laughing at him. I'm like, dude, this cornball coach, now they're 6-2. I mean, they're a 6-2 team, probably going to be ranked and have a chance rest of the way. I mean, dude, Brian Kelly's gonna be a problem there. I'm telling you. He's
behind Saban. He's the second best coach in the league, if you ask me. Yeah, I know Kirby's won a national championship, but Brian Kelly has sustained success wherever he's gone. He's been a really good coach at every stop he's had. Okay, so let's reset. So that's the Ole Miss. That's the LSU game. We've got A&M coming up. So we'll obviously have our midweek preview. A&M lost last night in Columbia to South Carolina. You gotta expect a team that's going to be hungry, just like we should be going into this matchup Saturday night in College Station next week. But it's going to be another situation where they're going to line up and they're going to try to run it down our throat. Now, the offense is not going to be near as effective as LSU is, but they're going to try to show dominance running the ball, and that defense is not bad. They should be able to put pressure on us if they need to.
Yeah, A&M matchup, I think, did their quarterback get hurt? I think their quarterback got hurt yesterday, didn't he? I think their starting quarterback may have got hurt. Not sure. But, yeah, it's going to be one of those games. They're going to line up and run it all over. They're going to try to run all over us. And why would you not? I mean, why we're giving you free access. Come on, run it right down our throat. And we don't tackle particularly well. So, they're at home. They're going to try to keep the ball away from us, and it's not the best A&M. I mean, they're 3-4. It's crazy to see an A&M team this bad, But I'm hoping this week it kind of woke us up a little bit. Hey, this week after you take a big loss like that, this week is real. Hey, shit gets real silent in the locker room. Okay, it was hee hee ha ha up until now. Yeah, look at everybody's real joyful, whatever. Shit gets real silent. You want to get this taste out of your mouth, right? How do you do that? You show up the first day, you take accountability for what all happened yesterday, and you wash that shit, and you say, all right, here we go. We need to get that one good practice out of the way. And you go out there and everybody's serious, little chippy practice, nice, intense practice, and then it's done, right? There's nothing you can do about that LSU game.
Nope.
There's nothing you can go back and change. And if you let it beat you, you can let it ruin your whole season, right? But hey, if we go out there and have a great practice, great week of work, show it with laser focus to A&M, laser focus that week, and you go out there and you take care of business versus a team that you should beat again. Now, your guys have experience, your young guys have experience in a hostile environment, right? So there's no excuse going into this week. Nope. You go out there with laser focus at A&M. You take care of that shit, and you get back home to play Alabama at 8-1, right? And then LSU just is what it is. That's just a game that it happens, right? You got beat, and it looked terrible, but for them it was a good game most of the game. It kind of got away at the end, but dude, learn from that. Let's go win. Let's go beat A&M. Let's come back to Alabama at home, and you still have everything right in front of you. That should be the mindset. This is where we should go.
It's not like it was a blowout. It's not like it was a blowout. The Rebels were hanging with LSU all the way up until into third quarter, fourth quarter, where it just got away, like you said. So they can compete with teams. We don't know how good everybody is until the end of the season, until all the games are played. But the Rebels competed. Let's make no mistake, this is a downer of an episode, but the Rebels played well for the most part, except they just let the game get away from them at the end. So, this is not a gloom and doom. We're destined to lose the next 4 games by 30 points, but there's a lot of things that have to be figured out. So yeah, we'll have more on the A&M game midweek. Do you have a kind of a memory of a demoralizing loss like this when you were playing in Oxford?
Yeah, I guess you would say South Carolina year, but I was so young at the time. I don't know that. I guess I was 18, 19 at the time. That one kind of sucked, but I didn't really realize. I was still kind of young then. That I don't know if I realized it now. Looking back, I'm like, man, that was a loss that kind of really sucked.
It did
for us, for everybody. But at the same time, we also weren't this kind of team that we have now, right? Or we're running a under center, too tight offense, not using any of the speed, any of the actual talent. So that was. That's not even comparable to this in my mind. We're a legit offense, legit team that has guys all over the field. We were lucky to be able to use Shea Hodge, Dex the best we could, and aside from that, there really wasn't a whole lot there. So, that was probably the worst one. I would say, more so the Mississippi State that same year was probably one that really sucked. For us, but this team, we were never at this point where we were 7-0 and just feeling like we were about to win the national championship. It was this is got a little bit. This is a little tougher feeling for us, man. We're deep in the season. We're 7-0, ranked 7th. I think the time we were ranked 4, we were more so riding the preseason. We were 2-0, maybe 1-0. We just beat some. We weren't quite where we are. We went through a season at 7-0. That's pretty impressive. So. Yeah, that's probably the one I can remember at Ole Miss. I've had some in the NFL that really stunk, but that one was that yesterday. It felt just like Freeze this year. It felt like Auburn last year. We just got to bounce back, man. You got to learn from it. Thinking you're gonna go undefeated with a redone roster, it sounds great on Kool-Aid paper, but at the end of the day, you got an environment, made some mistakes, and it got away from you quick. So. But everything's in front of us, man. I'm hoping they wash this crap today and get ready to go beat a team that we can beat next week.
For sure. And we'll just have to get a new batch of Kool-Aid brewing right now. And, one thing that I always like to do when I'm down, like some of our Rebel faithful are, a little retail therapy is never a bad thing. Maybe some Blue Delta jeans if we need to, right? Blue Delta jeans, handmade right here in Tupelo, Mississippi. Great custom jeans. You just go to the bluedeltajeans.com and you can get fitted online. So it's all custom. If you've never seen the Blue Delta jeans, they take all your measurements, they create them from scratch. It is a wonderful product. And, that's where you're seeing some of the guests that we're getting. They all wear Blue Delta jeans. They love them. Bradley is a big supporter of them as well. BlueDeltaJeans.com is a great place to kind of ease your woes from yesterday's game.
Chad, it sounds like your son is taking this loss the same way.
A lot harder than I am. So bear with me 1 second while I. Now, some other Rebel news. If we want to continue with this depressing theme, or maybe it's uplifting, I don't know. Basketball media days have happened. So the women's basketball team projected to finish 5th in the SEC by the media. The men's basketball team projected to finish 9th in the SEC. So hopefully Kermit will be able to exceed those projections. Hopefully we can have him on in a couple of weeks to talk about basketball season. It's right around the corner. I think they have an exhibition game on November 1st, and then the season opener is November 7th. So that will be pretty interesting. Basketball is right around the corner if you're interested. Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee were projected to be 1, 2, and 3 in the conference this year. So basketball season right around the corner, Bradley. It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think we've added some good guys.
Absolutely.
You got Morale, you got Moody, or what's the one? No, Ruffin. Sorry, damn,
Yeah,
I'm stuck in the previous year. Yeah, Ruffin, Ruffin Morale. You got some good kids you've added. It should be fun. Ole Miss basketball. I go to games. Go to a lot of games. I'm much more of a baseball fan. People obviously know that. But I go and I enjoy watching some good basketball. I just need that one player I can cling to, right? Like when Andy Kennedy was here, there was always that one player that's like, and I'm really hoping it's Ruffin. I think that he kind of got me in last year. I was like, all right, I want to go see just to watch this little dude freaking dunk and block shot. Like, it's just crazy. Were
you a Marshall Henderson guy?
Oh, what, dude? That's Marshall Henderson is my style. I'm Marshall Henderson in softball. Like,
okay.
It's unreal, dude. So we had a softball tournament this weekend, and it was great. I stayed at a Holiday Inn down in I guess we were in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. A beautiful hotel. I was sitting there this morning just staring at these biscuits, these freaking breakfast, but just depressingly eating Holiday Inn biscuits. Like, wow, I'm in a hotel in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, eating depressed because we freaking lose to LSU. My kids do good in the tournament or whatever, but God, dude, I hate losing. Like, people don't understand how much I hate losing. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I don't know why I let this affect me the way it affects me. I have nothing to do with the team. Like, I'm not on the team. Like, this loss does nothing for me. Even a win, if we win a championship, it does nothing for me. But like, I love Ole Miss that much, dude. I wake up and my wife's like, "Why are you in such a bad mood? Like you aren't the team. You have nothing to do with Ole Miss team." I'm like, "But you don't understand. Like, to sit there and freaking lose to LSU like that." And I'm have to hear this for a year now with all my LSU. I mean, they're just gonna destroy me, dude. Like I almost cut my phone off yesterday. I was getting destroyed on my text message thread.
I'm always perplexed how people don't get upset when their team loses, right? Because it's kind of your identity, right? You kind of identify, this is a team that represents me, especially when you've got friends that are reaching out to you, blowing you up about getting beat. I mean, that means that's part of your identity. So now I am getting insulted because my team's getting their ass beat.
Here's what I did. Here's the problem. I got too Kool-Aid high and too cocky, right? Like I'm texting, I'm in a group chat with a really big LSU fan, a Georgia fan, so I have to hear it. I start texting around, talking a little shit, talking a little too much shit, getting a little too, hey, calling Ole Miss. So I use the hashtag top tier. I'm like, you got Ole Miss. I said, you got Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, baby. We're top tier. We're in the top tier of the SEC. Cool. So yesterday, when we get our asses beat by 25 by an unranked LSU team, I mean, the hashtag top tier destroyed me yesterday. I mean, destroyed me, like, to the point where I almost left the chat. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I deserve this because I'm an idiot. I almost beat who? Kentucky,
yeah,
barely. And I'm over here talking crap. Like, why do I get every year? I get them shades, and it's just like blind. I'm just walking around like, oh, here we go, you Ole Miss. Dude, come on, man, come on. This happens every freaking time to me. But yeah, I got destroyed, and I'm gonna take it. And we only way out of this destruction is us beating Alabama at home. So I can be like, you know what? We just had injuries. We had injuries. I told you. So, so my comeback was like, hey, I don't care. We're not losing anybody. Well, next year we're still top tier. Now we'll be top tier next year. So, man, I got destroyed. Hashtag top tier.
Well, I'm glad your stay at the Holiday Inn Express was nice. You had a great breakfast. Hopefully, the only thing I guess that could have made it better is, sleeping on a Nest and Wild mattress at Holiday Inn. So we'll see. I'm going to keep sprinkling those in as everybody just moans and groans. But yeah, Nest and Wild mattresses, another one of our great sponsors, 99 night guarantee. You can get them on Amazon, nestandwild.com if you need to. Bradley, our picks yesterday, you went 1-3, I went 2-2. The main difference would be the A&M game where you had A&M and I had South Carolina. I was surprised that State did not put up anything on offense. It was a pretty disappointing loss, I'm sure, from their standards, but Alabama just kind of put their coils around them and suffocated them the entire game.
I guess Tennessee's that good, huh? They beat LSU 40-13 at home. And beat Alabama, a team that just destroyed Mississippi. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into comparing scores, but man, that's Tennessee win versus LSU looks even more impressive. And now they beat Alabama. If they beat Georgia, Tennessee could really save me in this group chat.
Tennessee, that Tennessee-Georgia game is looking to be a showdown of the ages. It's going to be a good one. Defense versus offense, man. That's going to be – I still think Georgia's better because of Tennessee's lack of power in their secondary. But yeah, Tennessee, it's going to be a hell of a game. I think it's in Athens, though. We'll see. That's, I think, coming in 2 weeks.
They could really save me in this group chat. They could really come in and save the day. So we'll see. I'm going to be going for that one.
Yeah, speaking of top tier, our picks are anything but that. So I've got a 1-game edge on you now. Hey, but guess what? Missouri didn't cover like we expected. We both had Vandy. You know what? That's right. So that's our silver lining for the week.
I love it. Hey, it's like Jim Cramer in the market, right? Like if you inverse our picks, you'll be wealthy. If you inverse Jim Cramer's stock picks, you'll be wealthy as well. So very sobering day. We will have our A&M show coming up middle of the week, so be on the lookout for that. Just a reminder to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast for the Brad and Chad Show. Brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. Bradley, enjoy your Sunday. Your Bears are going to get killed tomorrow night by the Patriots, which I'm sure you already know. So let's kind of get our mind right. Get ready for the Aggies, and we'll talk to you then, okay, buddy? Hotty toddy. Yep. See you, Chad. Hotty toddy, man.
Thanks for listening to the Brad and Chad Show. Follow the boys on social media for more content. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been an OM Network production, brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans, made in the USA.